Another dawn. A dawn as precise and exacting as a million before it. Yet it might be the dawn of a new age, the age of space. Not the outer space we hear so much about. No, this space is right here on the earth. Precious space. Sometimes it's called wilderness. And since the dawn of his own existence, man has challenged the wilderness, pressing against it, forcing inroads to conquer and subdue it. But for man himself to survive, he must help the wilderness survive. And so he has turned his dedication to the protection and preservation of the wilderness. Like this 1,000,000 acres of untamed space in northwestern Montana, hardly changed since man first knew it. And the first men to claim this country were the Blackfeet. The land was good to these people. And they called it the backbone of the world, the land of the shining mountains. A powerful spirit dwelled here, here where the clouds caressed the mountains, where Napi, the old man of the Blackfeet, came down from his lodge the sun, came down through the rocks and forests, bringing the gift of life to earth. Into this setting of beauty he placed man and woman, giving them dominion over the land. And Napi returned to his lodge in the sun, traveling by way of this mountain, known even today as going to the Sun Mountain. And the land of the shining mountains lured others, strangers to the Blackfeet, trappers and explorers, mountain men they were called. And they wove fantastic tales about the wilderness, stories that drifted back east, magnified by the miles. Was it true that in the west was a land inhabited by the saber-toothed tiger, frequented by the Lama of Peru, perhaps even the home of a lost tribe of Israel? Yes, to the civilization of 1800, this remote wilderness held as much mystery and challenge as the moon does to us today. In 1806, Lewis and Clark encountered this uncharted land in their epic trek to the west. Their explorations made fact out of fancy and lured other adventurers into the wilderness to discover and admire it, and endow the land with a heritage of romance and adventure. Men like Hugh Monroe, known to his adopted Blackfeet as Rising Wolf. Men like Father Desmet, Duncan MacDonald, Lyman Sperry, James Willard Schultz, and George Bird Grinnell. Grinnell was a publisher and self-styled explorer who believed that this beautiful and unique country rightfully belonged to all the American people. He began a movement to establish the land as a national park. Thus, in 1910, under the leadership of Montana Representative Charles Prey, Congress enacted legislation creating Glacier National Park. And to all who know Glacier, it is indeed, as Grinnell once described it, the crown of the continent. Today, Glacier National Park belongs to us, the people of America. Every summer, many of us come to Montana to enjoy this bit of real estate we share with nature. We roll in by car, by train, by bus and plane. We come to exchange manicured lawns and narrow horizons for a glimpse of space. We come to discover, to experience, to find strength of spirit from the land. and first impressions are usually breathtaking. Man had to work mighty hard to make even a bare scratch on this surface of eternity. It wasn't until 1933 that he managed to etch a roadway across the sky-piercing mountains and glacier-carved valleys. Known as Going to the Sun Highway, the road is a marvel of engineering skill, universally proclaimed as one of the great roads of the world. For 50 miles, it clings to the very top of the continent, as if it were indeed going to the sun. From endless vantage points along the highway, the whole world seems to open up before you. Not long ago, views like these were seen by only the stoutest of adventurers. Today, they are the legacy of all who travel going to the Sun Road. So here we come, the people of America. In Glacier Park, we leave the canyons of concrete and steel and enter a land of frightful vitality and unbelievable magnitude. It's nice to know there are comfortable accommodations waiting, if we choose, at one of Glacier Park's rustic lodges. During the busy summer season, Glacier Park becomes a melting pot of vacationing America. A family checks in from Iowa, another from Arizona. In fact, families from everywhere. A couple of college co-eds who like hiking. A family of campers out to catch some of Glacier's trout. An elderly couple from down south. A gathering of convention delegates from across the U.S. Yes, we are all here, and more, during the busy summer season in Glacier Park. And like vacationers everywhere, there's never a dull moment. who visit Glacier realize right away they found a place worth knowing. To really discover Glacier means getting away from the armchair verandas to explore some of the 1,000 miles of trails that probe the wilderness. Many visitors like to do it from horseback. The park regulars call these riders dudes. But the dudes don't care. They're getting set for a new adventure. These riders will venture far afield to explore glaciers, climb divides for breathtaking views, and spend restful moments in places of inspirational beauty. But the trails are not reserved for horses alone. A good pair of hiking shoes will take you a long way into the backcountry. If you're hiking or riding with a ranger naturalist as your guide, you'll find added meaning as you discover a wilderness world entrusted to nature's management. Up here, when the trail becomes a mere thread through space, where you embrace an untamed existence at every glance, you seem to grow in spirit. Here, too, is revealed the magnitude of the forces that created Glacier. Immense ramparts of stone, thrust up ages ago by a mighty upheaval of the earth, etched over countless time into pinnacle sharpness. Living alpine glaciers, over 60 in the park, glisten in the shadow of towering walls. And from these glaciers are born ribbons of silver, more than 1,000 in the park. glaciers and waterfalls, there are lakes. The park has over 250 of them, ranging from the curious and unusual, like this one that floats miniature icebergs in midsummer, to others remarkable for their sheer beauty and calm dignity. Montana is known as the Treasure State, the Big Sky Country, and certainly she could offer no more fitting crown to grace the brow of the continent than this land of the shining mountains. As you contemplate this unexcelled world, you begin to feel a sense of timelessness. It's almost as though the immobile peaks were standing in defiance of the passing moments you spend here. The clarion call of geese heralds the change of season in Glacier. Lucky indeed are the visitors whose vacations are not yet over, for the autumn days, Glacier's finest moments, are theirs to enjoy. When winter comes to Glacier, man relinquishes his equity in the park to its real owner, nature. And man-made roads become animal trails. There's greatness in winter's grip on Glacier, a stark and silent beauty few humans have seen. And winter is important for the park, too. This white world of snow and silence holds the hope for a new season in Glacier. In spring, the snows will recede, leaving behind the very life of the land. New snows to perpetuate the glaciers and replenish the streams and waterfalls. Moisture for the budding trees and wildflowers, and rejuvenation for the wildlife. These are the forces of God that dwarf man in their immensity, that promise enduring reward for all who are dedicated to the preservation of the beauty of America.